Wildlife officials in BC are trying to figure out why dozens of birds literally dropped from the sky dead. Witnesses say they'd never seen anything like it. And as the CBC's Belle Puri reports, people are sharing their theories about what happened.
It's hard to believe what happened, except for hints on the ground. It was last Friday at dusk. Some of the casualties can still be found at a pullout along the busy causeway from the Tsawwassen Ferry Terminal. The Canadian Wildlife Service confirmed something did happen here. Biologists refer to it as a mortality event. Some of the bird carcasses were collected and sent to an animal health lab for post-mortem analysis.
Miles of pristine beach along Florida's Atlantic coast were deserted, shut down after officials confirmed a toxic red tide bloom just offshore.
I think Mother Nature's getting angry and doing crazy stuff.
And there is now a months-long cesspool on Florida's west coast. The Gulf, the shores and inlets deep in the depth brought by red tide.
The phenomenon known as red tide can kill fish and cause respiratory issues in people. State officials say the Gulf Coast bloom now stretches along 135 miles of Florida coastline.
Good morning. This is Haulover Beach, and you can see it is empty right now, though it's typically one of the more popular spots here in South Florida. It was shut down yesterday as officials were trying to keep people away from the water.
Dead fish after dead fish.
Yeah, this time of year you get a few mullet wash up on the beach.
But usually nothing like what you can see in this exclusive Chopper 5 video taken Wednesday afternoon. Thousands of dead fish along the shoreline in North Palm Beach. So many that Florida Fish and Wildlife has shut down the beach at John D. MacArthur State Park.
The landslip has taken a noticeable chunk from Inskip, around 200 to 300 metres. Tides and currents have undermined the shoreline structure, with many years of crashing waves.
A really deep channel runs around the edge of the shore here, has a really steep bank on it, so something happens under the ground that initiates, triggers these type of events.
Queensland Parks and Wildlife Service says what triggers the slip is a mystery, and it happens without warning.
It's the third sinkhole to swallow a large section of the island in as many years, and there's fears further collapses could see the area become increasingly unstable. For now, though, there's no physical risk to campers. The hole is at least 100 metres wide and 7.5 metres deep, around the same size as the sinkhole that swallowed an entire campsite in 2015. Now, as the sun sets here on the island tonight, it is a little bit less obvious, but certainly campers couldn't believe their eyes today as the beach vanished and this giant sinkhole swept up a large part of the main road. Between popular campgrounds, an enormous chunk of sand swallowed up by the sea. The sinkhole, a surprising sight for families on the first day of school holidays.
It was out there yesterday and now it's in here. It was incredible.
Just incredible what we're seeing playing out all across that region, the earthquake, tsunami, now that volcano you mentioned.
Both mosques and malls flooded or reduced to piles of rubble.
Some homes just floating away. Today we felt aftershocks. There have been hundreds so far.
A large island in Indonesia 3 days ago, triggered by a 7.5 magnitude earthquake. Hundreds attending a beach festival when this tsunami crashed into the area.
This is what the city of Palu looked like before the tragedy, and this shows the scope of the destruction tonight.
Tonight to Indonesia, first the deadly earthquake and tsunami, now word of that volcano now erupting.
And now on this same island, Mount Soputan erupting, that volcano's 20,000-foot column of ash now forcing flights to avoid the immediate area around it.
The twin disasters devastated the city of Palu, where crowded buildings like mosques and malls collapsed, trapping people inside.
Part of Palu, nothing stood a chance.
The earth rising and falling like waves. The seismic shock also triggered a tsunami, bringing a wall of water nearly 20 feet high roaring over the island of Sulawesi. It came without warning after the earthquake cut power to the tsunami alert system.
In cell phone video, people are scrambling for their lives as the wave moves in. A man yelling and warning people as the tsunami begins to strike. More than 200 aftershocks have shaken the area.
Flames that shot up out of a hole in northern Arkansas have experts and county leaders there scratching their heads.
An unusual call for the Midway Volunteer Fire Department. A volleyball-sized hole with flames shooting out of it off Highway 5 south in Midway.
Fire was burning roughly 2 feet in diameter, about 8 feet tall, and it burned for approximately 40 minutes.
Still more questions than answers as to what caused a fiery hole to form in Baxter County. County officials have ruled out meteorites and lightning strikes as the cause of this hole. Flames shot out of the ground. ADEQ and Black Hills Energy also came out a second time to look for a cause. State geologists are also looking for an answer to this. A lot of people involved.
The homeowner who lives nearby told us off camera he came outside Monday morning to flames shooting from the hole up to the man's nose on this billboard. Now county leaders are trying to figure out how the phenomenon started.
We don't believe that the devil showed up or the meteorites landed or the big booms happened.
So what did cause this hole and those flames? That's the burning question. No one knows where the hole ends. A few geologists say they don't believe it was caused by a meteorite or lightning strike. And one with the Arkansas Geological Survey says how it started is a mystery.
I can't think of any geologic situation that allowed that to happen. Not in this area. There's not any fossil fuels, coal, or natural gas or petroleum that occurs in the area.
Thousands of planets are thought to exist beyond our solar system, but a moon around those worlds has yet to be confirmed, until possibly now.
For the first time, astronomers have discovered the first moon outside of our solar system. Well, that's according to 2 researchers from Columbia University here in New York, and now they've published their compelling findings.
What we want to know is whether these moons are common, maybe even they are places where we might find life around them, and perhaps they will teach us about how planets and satellites form elsewhere in the universe.
The findings, which were published this week, says that the so-called exomoon, which is estimated to be the size of Neptune, was found in orbit around a gigantic gas planet about 8,000 light years from Earth.
What we see in our data is a very clear moon-like dip, and it is unprecedented compared to all of our previous data.
Meanwhile, in other space news, astronomers may have new evidence of a 9th planet. The new discovery, known as 2015 TG387, was found during the continual hunt for dwarf planets and Planet 9, also known as Planet X, a planet that NASA has acknowledged may exist in our solar system and could have a mass 10 times greater than Earth.
An incredible rescue caught on camera. A teenager lost at sea for 49 days with no food, no water, and no way to steer.
When a passing ship spotted the tiny hut adrift in the blue abyss, the crew thought surely the radio call for help couldn't have come from here.
Careful, careful!
This is the moment, 49 days in the making. 19-year-old Aldi Adelang rescued from the Pacific Ocean after nearly 2 months lost at sea. Adelang lives and operates this wooden fishing vessel, and on July 14th, blistering winds snapped the rope which was anchoring the floating hut in place and sent him drifting 1,200 miles, taking the teen from the shores of Indonesia to near Guam. After running out of supplies, the boy, alone, like the hero in the movie Life of Pi, had to think out of the box. Using wood from the boat's hut to make fires, catching fish out of the ocean to eat, and filtering seawater through his t-shirt to drink. Adelang says countless ships passed him by unaware of his plight. He tried to flag them down, but to no avail. Then, 7 weeks later to the day, this massive ship came to his rescue.
Along the way, he thought of death but kept his faith by reading the Bible. This is the third time the teen's raft has broken free at work.
The teen managing to send out distress signals, a simple help over his portable radio, causing the ship that had passed him by to turn around. The ship approaching him, causing those giant swells, nearly capsizing his raft. But the young man holding on, screaming as the waves crash over him. Finally, the crew starts heaving him in.
Careful, careful!
Clinging to that rope ladder and hanging on for dear life.
Okay, that's good, slowly, slowly.
Before finally making it into the outstretched arms
of
that crew.